Close your eyes and picture a golfer. Go ahead, actually do it. You saw it, didn't you? The polo shirt, the country club, the expensive watch, maybe a private jet somewhere in the background. Nobody taught you that image in school, but it's there in almost every head on the planet. Here's the strange part. Golf was invented by ordinary people on free public land, and for most of its history it wasn't a rich man's game at all. So where did this feeling come from? And is it even true anymore? Because this feeling has real consequences. Millions of people have never touched a golf club, not because they can't afford it, but because they've already decided it's not for people like them. They walk past the course. They flip past the channel. A quiet velvet rope in the mind. And that's what makes this question so interesting. It's not really about golf. It's about how an image gets built in millions of heads. And who built it? To find the answer, we have to go back about 600 years, to the east coast of Scotland. Between the towns and the sea lay a strange strip of ground called linksland. Sandy, bumpy, useless for farming. So it belonged to everyone. Shepherds, fishermen, tradesmen, ordinary townspeople started knocking pebbles and balls across it with sticks toward rabbit holes and targets. No membership, no dress code, just wind, grass, and a ball. In fact, the very first written record of golf isn't about kings enjoying it. It's about a king trying to ban it. In 1457, King James II of Scotland outlawed golf because too many ordinary men were playing it instead of practicing archery. Read that again. The game we call elitist was once so popular with everyday people that a government tried to stop it. And the most famous golf course on earth, the Old Course at St. Andrews, it sits on public land to this day. Local residents play it for a fraction of what tourists pay. And on Sundays, the Old Course closes to golf, so the townspeople can walk their dogs across it. Golf wasn't born in a country club. It was born in a commons. So what happened? A ball happened. Early golf balls were called featheries, a leather pouch stuffed with an entire top hat's worth of boiled feathers, stitched and hammered by hand. One craftsman could only make a few per day, so a single ball could cost more than the club that hit it. For a while, that priced ordinary people out. The game drifted upward, toward the ones who could afford to lose a ball in the weeds. Then, in the 1840s, everything flipped. A new ball made of gutta percha, a rubbery tree sap, could be molded cheaply, and it flew better too. The price collapsed, and golf exploded. In 50 years, Britain went from a handful of clubs to more than 2,000. Here's the lesson hiding in that story. Every time golf got cheaper, it got bigger. The game itself has never wanted to be exclusive. But something else was about to happen, on the other side of the Atlantic. In the late 1800s, golf crossed the ocean to America. And America gave it a new home. The country club. This was the Gilded Age. An era of new fortunes, and new millionaires looking for ways to show it. A country club wasn't just a place to play. It was a wall. Membership meant you were in. And in only means something if most people are out. The clubhouse, the gates, the waiting lists, the dress codes. None of that was invented to make the golf better. It was invented to make the members feel special. And this is where the image in your head was manufactured. Business deals on the back nine. The firm handshake on the 18th green. Movies, ads, and TV shows repeated it for 100 years, until golfer and wealthy fused into a single picture. But even at the peak of the country club era, the truth kept slipping through. In 1913, a 20-year-old amateur named Francis Ouimet, a caddy from a working-class family who lived literally across the street from the course, beat the two greatest professionals in the world to win the U.S. Open. The country club built the image, but the caddies kept winning the trophies. Which brings us to today. Is golf actually expensive right now? Let's look at real numbers instead of feelings. In the United States, the average green fee at a public course is about $41 for 18 holes. That's 4+ hours of play. Yes, prices rose about 29% since 2019. But general inflation rose about 27% in the same window. Golf basically tracked the cost of living. Now compare it. Movie tickets rose around 60%. The cost of attending an NFL game rose about 50%. Big concert tickets, up around 45%. Hour for hour, a public round of golf costs about the same as one large popcorn and soda trip to the cinema, and lasts 3 times longer. Used clubs? A full starter set costs less than a video game console. Municipal courses in many cities charge $20 to $30. So why does the expensive image survive? Because of a statistical trick hiding in plain sight. Roughly 7 to 8% of golfers account for about 80% of all the money spent on golf. A tiny slice of wealthy players buys the $10,000 memberships, the courses you see on TV, the resort trips. They generate almost all the images, while the quiet majority plays $40 rounds on public courses that never make it to your screen. You've been shown the top 1% of golf and told it was the whole game. And that's the real answer to our question. The feeling that golf is for the rich is a trick of the mind called the availability heuristic. Your brain judges what's normal by the examples it can remember most easily. And what can you remember? Perfect green fairways on television. A billionaire's golf trip in the news. The country club scene in every movie. You've almost never seen the retired teacher playing a Tuesday morning round at the local municipal course, because nobody points a camera at her. Golf also speaks a language that feels like a locked door. Birdies, bogeys, handicaps, dress codes. Every hobby has jargon, but golf's jargon comes wrapped in that old country club accent. And the industry itself is split. Luxury golf profits from feeling exclusive, so a part of the game actively polishes the velvet rope. The result? A public game, played mostly by ordinary people, wearing the costume of a private one. Ironically, the best proof is at the very top of the game, its most famous competitions. The Open Championship, born in 1860, is the oldest tournament in golf. Its name is the whole point. Open. Any golfer good enough can qualify and play alongside the legends for the famous claret jug. Same with the US Open. Every year, thousands of everyday players, teachers, salesmen, college kids, enter local qualifying rounds for a shot at the real thing. The Masters at Augusta National is the fancy one, the green jacket, the perfect flowers, one of the most exclusive clubs on earth. And yet a day badge to watch it is famously cheaper than most big playoff games, if your name is drawn in the free ticket ballot. The PGA Championship completes the 4 majors. And then there's the Ryder Cup, Europe against the United States, maybe the loudest, most tribal event in golf. Here's the detail almost nobody knows. The players are paid nothing. Zero. The best paid athletes in the sport play its fiercest week for free, for the flag on their sleeve. And the winners of these events? Some were rich kids, but one was a caddy named Francis Ouimet. One was a Spanish boy named Seve Ballesteros, who learned the game barefoot on a beach with one borrowed club. And one was a kid named Tiger Woods who grew up practicing on a cheap military course. And right now, the image is cracking faster than ever. Since 2019, golf participation in the United States has grown by more than 40%, closing in on 50 million people, the most in history. And the growth isn't in country clubs. It's in driving ranges, 9-hole rounds after work, and indoor simulators in the middle of cities, where a swing costs less than a gym class. YouTube golfers now pull bigger young audiences than some televised tournaments. A new generation is showing up in hoodies and sneakers, and the courses are letting them. 600 years later, golf is quietly turning back into what it was at the start. A game for whoever shows up. So why do we feel golf is for the rich? Because for 1 century out of 6, a small group built walls around a free game and pointed every camera at the walls. But a feeling is not a fact. The fact is a sandy strip of public land in Scotland, where ordinary people invented a game so good a king couldn't ban it. That game never belonged to the rich. They were just the loudest guests. So here's my question for you. Have you ever actually stood on a golf course? Or did the image in your head decide for you before you got the chance? Tell me below.